So, you're working in production, you've got a load of stuff coming in for a shot, water stimulation from Houdini, or whatever else you want to fucking use, right? And the Houdini dies, for whatever reason, it's not easy to get the simulation right. You've got two choices, right? Choice one, you let them dick around and do their job correctly, and it may overrun, and as a result everybody else has got less time and is under the cosh more. Or sometimes you think at a right angle, right? You think outside of the box. Remember, the only box there is the one you create yourself. So let me show you a little way around things. You're thinking, why has he got Mudbox open? Well, the reason I have Mudbox open, he says, trying to get the goddamn brush work in the right place, is one thing to bear in mind. Actually, I'm going to have to apologise straight away, is that the microphone here is by my right elbow. The tablet is in front of me, which means I'm leaning over currently. So I'm going to have to lean away. It may get a bit echoey on the microphone, right? But I apologise. Now, the one thing to bear in mind with all these tiles is, you know what? They all have the same UVs, right? So all you've got to do is basically do some rough sculpting, right? Now I'm going to take this sculpt layer here, and I will take, he says trying to find it because everything's been really organised since last time I used it. Take a foamy brush, right? Good thing about the foamy brush is it keeps the surface normals intact. So let's see, I can basically go in here. I'll just turn this up a bit, make sure I have a nice fall off on, and I can basically, if he gets this right, go in gently and we sculpt in the shapes we want. Right now I'm just making this shit up as I go along, right? I'm being very honest, I'm making this up as I go along. There's no big plan on this at all, so if it doesn't look phenomenal, now you'll know why, right? So we just take a few of these, make a few of them bits deeper, add a bit of contrast effectively to it, you know what I mean? So we can take a few of these. Again, apologies for the microphone. I'm trying to keep away from the edges where I can. In this particular case, it would be a single tile, so it wouldn't really matter too much, and it would be matted out in comp. However, see, there's a reason why places often bring me on board at firms. And it's because I often think outside the box. Right? I was lucky enough that my parents brought me up to realise that the only box there is the one you create yourself. And so I often think at strange right angles to the way things are normally done. Some firms dislike that, and it's all very much the this is the way it's always been done and always shall be and shall never change. And often that will work fine. But every now and again you come across a problem that for whatever reason it's nearly impossible to solve in the time you have with standard means. And that's when guys like me come in and we say, well, I've got this crazy idea, right? Listeners out here, but like, I'm going to sculpt on the water simulation, and that's normally where people will start going, you know, but it does actually work. Now, if you're doing this in production, which I have done, you might take a few goes at it, because it's like anything else, it has to go through art directors and stuff. You might have an art director that says, well, that looks great, but would rather do it the other way, which is great. I said their choice, that's what you're there for. But I always believe, always think outside the box, always have another way of doing it. So at the moment, we've got this thingy here. I'll have to put my pen down. Normally I put it in my mouth, right? But I can't in this case. So I've got that. I've got shadows on. Yeah, I've got shadows. Let's make them a bit bigger. Right. Let's also add some cavity shading. She ain't bad. We'll just turn that on good. We don't want to change the colour. And then I will just fade that down a bit like that. The ambient occlusion. Now, maybe in this case, it might not need to be too big. I'll just tear that down a bit. Okay, cast length up a bit. Up there. We can then put the tone map wrong, because we want something that looks halfway decent, don't we, really? Can't have it so it looks ropey, because like anything else, when you're presenting it, you've got to do your best, you know what I mean? Now, the reason I turned adaptation off is if you don't, the moment you switch cavity and ambient on, it starts having a war right, which doesn't look very nice. And then I'll just basically find something that's halfway decent. So you can see we've basically added a bit of contrast to the sea. Now it's very easy with the displacement at that point to fade that in and out on a shot, right? It's one of those crazy little things. Well, it might come useful to somebody. Chances are I'll never need it again, but you know what? Somebody out there might well do. So enjoy. And that's how you sculpt on top of water. Bye bye.